The story of Ruth and Boaz. The land of Israel was in crisis. A famine forced a man named Elimelech to leave his home in Bethlehem with his wife Naomi and their 2 sons. They settled in Moab, a foreign land. But tragedy struck. Naomi's husband died, and then both of her sons died too. Naomi was left with only her 2 daughters-in-law, Ruth and Orpah. Heartbroken, Naomi decided to return to Bethlehem. She urged both young women to stay behind and rebuild their lives. Orpah tearfully returned home, but Ruth refused to leave. With unshakable devotion, she said, "Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." Together, Naomi and Ruth returned to Bethlehem, 2 widows with nothing but faith. To survive, Ruth went to gather leftover grain in the fields, a right given by God's law for the poor. But this was no accident. She found herself in the fields of Boaz, a wealthy and honorable man and a relative of Naomi's late husband. Boaz noticed Ruth's hard work and her deep loyalty to Naomi. Instead of ignoring her, he protected her, invited her to eat at his table, and ordered his workers to leave extra grain for her to gather. When Naomi realized whose field Ruth was working in, hope returned to her heart. Boaz was a kinsman redeemer, someone who could marry Ruth and continue the family line. With Naomi's guidance, Ruth approached Boaz with humility and courage, asking him to take that role. Boaz was deeply moved. He praised Ruth for her kindness and promised to do all he could. Though there was another relative with a closer claim, Boaz acted with honor. He met with the elders of the town, secured the right to marry Ruth, and made a covenant before God and the people. Ruth and Boaz married, and their love story became a symbol of redemption. God blessed them with a son named Obed. The women of Bethlehem rejoiced, saying Naomi's life was no longer empty. That little boy grew up to be the grandfather of King David, placing Ruth, a foreigner from Moab, directly in the family line of Jesus Christ, the Redeemer of the world. The story of Ruth and Boaz is not just a romance, it's a story of faith, loyalty, and God's providence. Ruth gave her heart to God, and in return, God wrote her into the greatest story ever told. No matter your past or your struggles, God can turn brokenness into blessing. He is still the Redeemer today.